What happens when two masters of the same craft face off on the most sacred ground in tennis? On the Philippe Chatrier court, Carlos Alcaraz, the current Roland Garros champion, will face a rival who already knows what it's like to beat him and who masters one of the most feared shots on clay, the drop shot. Fabian Marozsan is not a media star, but within the ATP circuit, he already has a reputation forged through major upsets. Today, we'll explore Alcaraz's greatest fear in his second match of the tournament and why this duel promises to be as tactically surprising as it is electrifying. Carlos Alcaraz arrives at this second round at Roland Garros with the confidence of having comfortably overcome Giulio Zeppieri, but with his mind set on a rival who brings back bad memories. Fabian Marozsan has not only played against him, he beat him, and on clay. It was 2 years ago in Rome when, ranked 135th in the world, the Hungarian shocked the world by eliminating the Spaniard. Today, in 2025, Marozsan is already world number 56, and although his clay court season has been inconsistent, his threat is more real than ever. Standing 1.93 meters tall, with overwhelming serve power and agility that contradicts his physique, the Hungarian is a lethal mix. But beyond the obvious, there is one shot that particularly worries Carlos, the drop shot. Alcaraz, one of today's great exponents of creative and varied play, will face someone who shares his love for this tactic. The Spaniard already hinted, it will be a battle of drop shots. A warning that not only shows respect but also the strategic focus with which he approaches this match. But Marozsan is not just a drop shot specialist. His resume already includes victories over big names on the circuit: Holger Rune, Alex de Minaur, Grigor Dimitrov, Casper Ruud, and recently, Andrei Rublev in Hong Kong. All have fallen to a player who combines power, precision, and an immense ability to unnerve his opponent with changes in pace and impossible angles. The threat is real, and Alcaraz knows it. That's why the fear is not just symbolic. It's not about fear, but strategic respect. The Spaniard has learned not to underestimate rivals like Marozsan. The Hungarian has a complete game, capable of unsettling the best and turning any rally into a mental chess match. For Carlitos, this match is a chance to redeem himself from that loss in Rome, but also a warning that no Grand Slam path is free of traps. Marozsan represents that silent trap, playing without the pressure of being the favorite, but with the talent of someone who has already tasted a major triumph. Carlos Alcaraz is still the favorite, yes. But the respect he shows Marozsan says a lot about the level this match can reach. It will be a chess game on clay, where every drop shot, every net approach, and every defensive stroke becomes a statement of intent. Will Carlitos impose his rhythm and erase the shadow of Rome? Or will Marozsan repeat the feat and once again cause a major upset on a much bigger stage? Did Carlos Alcaraz ever consider quitting tennis to play futsal? That was the question that surprised many during the press conference at Roland Garros. But anyone who thought the young Spaniard would hesitate was completely wrong. Today we tell you what Carlos responded, how his second match in Paris went, and why he feels closer than ever to renewing his title on the land of dreams, Roland Garros. Carlos Alcaraz continues his steady path at the second Grand Slam of the year. The player from El Palmar defeated Italian Giulio Zeppieri with authority, 6-3, 6-4, 6-2, in a match he dominated from start to finish. Despite not playing on Philippe Chatrier, but on Suzanne Lenglen, Carlos maintained his top form. But it was in the press room where the most unexpected moment of the day occurred. He was asked if, during his childhood, he had ever thought of quitting tennis to dedicate himself to futsal. His answer was as clear as it was firm: no, that's a lie. I played futsal, but from the beginning I always wanted to play tennis. It never crossed my mind to quit tennis, never. On the court, Alcaraz looked focused, steady, and confident. He knows that any lapse in a Grand Slam is costly, and he himself admitted, "I think I've become more consistent." The defending champion made it clear that he wants to avoid ups and downs, and he showed that by displaying his best shot repertoire. His next challenge will be against Hungarian Fabian Marozsan, world number 56, in a match Alcaraz has already described as a battle of drop shots. Both players enjoy varied and creative play, and the Spaniard knows it won't be an easy match. Moreover, Alcaraz expressed his excitement about soon returning to the main court, the legendary Philippe Chatrier, where this year the footprint of his idol Rafa Nadal, 14-time champion of the tournament, has been immortalized. A place that Carlos hopes to make his own with a new victory. Carlos Alcaraz has made it clear that his passion for tennis was never in doubt. He never thought about trading his racket for a ball, and today, with each match, he proves that he is more committed than ever to writing his story on the Parisian clay. With his second victory secured and his goals clear, the Spaniard moves forward with confidence, determined to defend his crown at Roland Garros. What does it mean for Carlos Alcaraz to play on Philippe Chatrier, right next to Rafa Nadal's footprint? More than just a court, it's a temple of tennis. After making his debut at Roland Garros on Suzanne Lenglen, the Spaniard confessed his excitement for what's to come, stepping onto the main court, with the legend of his idol etched into the ground. Get ready, because this story is not just about tennis. It's about inspiration, legacy, and Spanish pride. Carlos Alcaraz moved on to the second round in Paris with authority. He defeated Italian Giulio Zeppieri without dropping a single set and did so on Suzanne Lenglen, a court he knows and appreciates, but it's not the main one. However, he knows that Philippe Chatrier awaits him very soon. In the press room, Alcaraz shared his emotions about the tribute to Rafael Nadal held the day before. It was incredible, very special. I loved how it was done. The Chatrier court has been the most important one in Rafa's career, and seeing how he expressed himself to his people was beautiful, he commented admiringly. Now, Carlos has a clear wish, to play there. Not out of vanity, but because there's a new symbol engraved on that court, Nadal's plaque. I'm really excited to play on Chatrier with that plaque there. For me, Rafa deserves it more than anyone. Being there will be a very special moment. Regarding not debuting on the main court, he took it naturally. Suzanne is a wonderful court. Today I played there, and I enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'll get to play on Chatrier soon, but in the meantime, you have to adapt and play well everywhere. Alcaraz also spoke about his technical progress, especially with his serve, one of the keys to his current good level. I don't blame the season's ups and downs on the serve. It's been other things. But now I feel very comfortable. I've had 2 matches without getting broken. I'm satisfied, though there's still room to improve. Carlos Alcaraz not only wants to defend his title at Roland Garros. He wants to do it in grand style, inspired by his idol Rafa Nadal, with whom he shares more than nationality. They share ambition, passion, and an eternal bond with Parisian clay. Now, with Chatrier on the horizon and his game on the rise, the defending champion is preparing to experience moments that could define his history. And that of Spanish tennis. What does it feel like to return to the stage where you lifted one of the most important titles of your career? For Carlos Alcaraz, that moment is about to be repeated. Roland Garros has heard his request, and after debuting on Suzanne Lenglen, the current champion returns to the majestic Philippe Chatrier, the central court of the Parisian Grand Slam. A court filled with history, now bearing a new symbol engraved on its surface, the plaque with Rafael Nadal's name. And Carlos, thrilled to step onto it again, will do so this Wednesday in a match with a taste of revenge. Get ready to relive the story that unites Alcaraz, Nadal, and Roland Garros in a script that blends emotion, rivalry, and legacy. Carlos Alcaraz made his 2025 Roland Garros debut with a comfortable win over Giulio Zeppieri on Suzanne Lenglen. Although the court brought back good memories, the Spaniard made it clear that he longed to return to Philippe Chatrier, where in 2024 he lifted the Musketeers Cup after defeating Alexander Zverev in an epic final. I knew I wouldn't get to open on Chatrier because I wasn't playing Sunday. Playing Monday meant debuting on Suzanne, and I think it's an incredible court too. But Chatrier is something else, said Alcaraz. And that wish will come true this Wednesday. Roland Garros has confirmed that the second round match between Alcaraz and Hungarian Fabian Marozsan will take place on Chatrier, around 2 p.m. local time, right after the women's match between Jasmine Paolini and Ajla Tomljanovic. Thus, the Spaniard avoids the night session and will play in his favorite time slot, with faster court conditions that suit his aggressive and varied style. But it's not just about schedules or tactical preferences. For Carlos, playing on Chatrier this year carries much deeper meaning. It will be very special because it'll be the first time I play on this court with Rafa Nadal's plaque there. No one deserves it more than him. I'm really excited to see it there, he confessed with a mix of respect and emotion. Rafa Nadal's footprint now decorates the entrance to the court where he built his legend with 14 titles. That Alcaraz, considered his natural heir, plays there with his eyes on that legacy, adds enormous symbolic weight to this edition of Roland Garros. At just 22 years old, Carlos is already world number 2, a Grand Slam champion, and a strong candidate to be crowned again in Paris. However, the road to defending the title won't be easy. His next obstacle is Marozsan, ranked 56th in the world, a rival with history. In 2023, in Rome, the Hungarian shocked the world by eliminating Alcaraz in the third round. It was an unexpected blow for the Spaniard, who later got his revenge in Indian Wells. Now, the unfinished business returns to clay. It'll be a battle of drop shots, Alcaraz said with a smile, acknowledging that both players share a fondness for that subtle, effective, and spectacular shot on clay. Alcaraz's return to Philippe Chatrier is not just a matter of justice for the reigning champion. It's an emotional reunion with the stage of his breakthrough, a tribute to Rafa Nadal, and a new opportunity to continue writing his own story at Roland Garros. With an impeccable clay court record in 2025, an increasingly mature game, and a strengthened mentality, Carlos Alcaraz doesn't just want to defend his title. He wants to win Paris's heart once more. And he will do so, as he himself says, with the joy of a child who once dreamed of being there, right where he now walks with steady steps. Is Carlos Alcaraz truly ready to dominate tennis like Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic did? As the Spaniard prepares to defend his Roland Garros title, a historic voice in tennis has thrown a poisoned dart that has sparked controversy. Former world number 1 Mats Wilander has questioned Carlitos's consistency, claiming he is not yet on par with the Big Three. Is this criticism fair, or just media provocation? Join us as we explore the Swedish players' statements, the reactions they've generated, and what this means for Alcaraz at one of the most important moments of his career.